Welcome back, everybody, for some more Space Force. And now I did a little one on this in this particular patch a few weeks ago or a month ago. Then I was gonna try this one, and my computer melted down. The screen just like disintegrated into black, and it hasn't returned since. I've had to use a monitor, which is fine, but it's not as portable, not as convenient, and now not as easy to make videos. But I wanted to make another one and put this one out there because I was in the creative zone with music and art. Finished the Wheel of Samsara, working on some great 8-string guitar songs with my old drummer, and there's some cool stuff coming. But time to get back into some of this stuff because these patches are nuts. And this is a little mix of art, conspiracy theory, truth, theory, and just thought, and experimental ideas, and whatever comes out of the brain. So what follows is a collection of Space Force patches that I was able to gather from around the internet with the titles, and just you get to see what they are, and just as an art, just everything. Whatever this is, whatever the Space Force is, whether it's controlling internet space and that kind of space, virtual space, or multi-dimensional space, or the space of the realm and what's beyond it that they're not telling us about. So here we go. We start with the basic ones, and there's a lot of just different stars. And I could be wrong. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head here. I've taken a look at these, but I haven't studied them. I haven't researched them. I'm just thinking. So we got Orion right there, the Hunter. They always got that kind of star and that arrow pointing up, which I assume is the magnetic north. The North Pole is very frequent in a lot of these. And what can we deduce from all this stuff? But they have much importance in that North Star, in that symbolism of what is up there, that axis. Maru, that one even looks a little bit like, but also electricity. A lot of electromagnetic things, and these, some mythical things as well. And you wouldn't think a Hydra, I guess a Hydra-headed beast would have the legs of a tiger, but not a snake. It's something else, a beast. There's something up there. All of this. What if they're even just, battling an enemy that they don't tell us about? This, who knows the symbolism? The hexagon symbolism, same as the launch pad in The Shining and in the Apollo missions. Going around something, looping around to, I don't know what that little zigzag, lightning again, a lot of lightning bolts. They're definitely dealing with a lot of electromagnetic weaponry and experimentation and probably upper atmosphere stuff. So much that we don't really know, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And the grid, they get the grid, the globe, they put the globe out a lot, the sphere, which it still could be, but a lot more massive than they tell us, infinitely more massive. But what they're showing us is that, they're almost just laughing at us through a lot of this. It almost looks like chopsticks, but then the figure forming from those bolts as well. Another one. 3, the sides, all of these, you get 6, space delta 6, delta even, all of these things I think are a little symbolic. They can't help but do it. You almost have to. It's part of the ritual of creating a symbol, is you have to have meaning to it. So what is a lot of this? Mount Meru, again, maybe the mountains beyond the sphere, everything. Whew. They put out so much stuff. And again, I want to hear your comments below. Leave some timestamps, give some thoughts, because there's a lot more, and they get a lot more interesting. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this group, and I'd love to know. And I was thinking about it before, because I was talking with an old friend from Tesla acquaintances, and oh, look at that, the hammer, jeez, Electro, the power glove almost from Nintendo, but also a robot, an antenna, something radiating. Is that taking the place of the Axis? Maru, these guys, the gargoyles, the 3 stars, the beast guarding something. Who's at the top? What is happening beyond the poles in the realm that we don't know about? The boomers and so many generations of people have just been oblivious, and it's been incredibly easy knowing seeing how they react to things and how they still believe a lot of things. And so, there's a big secret around us and surrounding this realm, and these guys are in on it, but we ain't. And it's cool to look at it and think about it. Look at that one. Jesus, the python, the alien eyes almost as well in the background. Double-headed snake. Look at these. Ridiculous. The key. That one almost looks like it spirals out. The North Star again. The grid. The hole, maybe, into the hollow earth. The eagles. The key again. Electromagnetic. Incredible. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance squadron. There is so much going on. It is gotta be amazing. I would love to know, because it would just enhance our minds. Even if, like, I don't know, I mean, why not? I wish we lived in a world where everything was known, and all these things we could just find out about it, experience it, and we all got together in peace, instead of having to keep everything secret in order to stave off chaos or something. I don't know what the intention is, but hopefully, look at that. That is ridiculous, that one. 3D space experimentation with like an old Tibetan Tartarian gargoyle monster dragon beast. Look at every one of these things. Really cool. From an art perspective, I love the symbols. It's almost like looking at the old books with all the different things that were a lot better, though, like valor and things illustrated in a beautiful ancient way with symbolism and archetypes and everything. It's just kind of the modern version of that in more secretive, intense form. Well, we'll see. You never know. I give them the chance. Hopefully they're doing good, but I think they're in on something that is pretty amazing, and we are not in on it, which makes it even cooler for them, I guess. But I'd like to know this one. What is that? Space Operations Squadron. I'd like to meet a guy in that at a bar and have him be like, yeah, this is it, man. This is what's happening. Look at that. So much going on in all of this. Hope we find out some. If anyone's in the Space Force or knows someone who is, chime in on some of these. I'd love to hear some actual truth and wisdom out there. Probably some ways to do research, but I have a feeling it's all hidden. So this is all theory. Nobody get mad. I don't know what's going on, but something is. Look at that. Eagle with a nice rocket. Or is it carrying passengers or something to another zone? Or the lighthouse, the beacon, the old helium fillers or ether generators or light gatherer. Who knows? Again, constellations, all important. The owl. Can't escape the owl. Interesting colors as well. Awesome stuff. 7th Space Warning Squadron, 10th Space Warning Squadron with a Trojan right there. And I love how they just constantly bust out the sphere, even though their maps are totally wrong and the sphere is such a lie. It's like, it's so obvious. They're the Knights 11th Space Warning Squadron. So these guys are just protecting, they're searching. What are they searching? Physical space or internet space? Look at that. It looks almost like a sextant, but it looks kind of like a horn with a wrench instead of a sextant. And the mountains, they look like mountains beyond the sphere. There's just, what a joke to these people it must be. And 17th test and experimentation with the scales of justice going right from one side to the other. The arrows, this one is intense. Quite the skull, the mohawk, the triangular arrow with the 6 stars surrounding it. This one with the old New World Order symbol right in the middle, that grid with the arrow and the atomic symbol. 328 Weapons Squadron, where they just testing things out there. Who knows? Speaking of that, Test and Evaluation Squadron with the bear. That one I've seen before. So now this is another site here that has a few different ones. Some that we've seen. That one's kind of like the Mohawk one, except with a lady's face instead of the skull. 3rd Combat Training Squadron. I've never seen anyone with these actual things, but this one is really cool. I love that drawing itself, but dear God, what is that? Space Experimentation Squadron. I'd love to just know what they're experimenting with. Probably stuff, who knows? I wonder if they're trying to get trying to prep for the alien invasion, the phony alien invasion that they've been wanting to do for a long time. This one's pretty cool. 8th Squadron with the 8 forming that symbol. It's like a scorpion almost. Looks almost like a transformer or something forming that shape. Some kind of like crazy scorpion-like beast forming an 8 with the symbols in the middle. Almost looks like old school Maru again. You got to wonder what kind of ancient things they mix in with these. But look at every time I look at that globe now with that perspective and that just shape, it's just such a joke. So stupid how anyone could ever believe this stuff. All the people of the past that just rolled over in these things that they just accepted as truths that were so far off is mind-blowing to me. This one is a really cool symbol. A little terrifying, but Space Control Squadrons, Team Snake Eyes, Communication Squadron, Sword, right at the top, Sword of Mount Meru, the pinnacle, the obelisk in the distance. Every single one of these should be scrutinized, these symbols, because they got something, whether they're mocking or they're telling in a secretive way. It's out there. And a lot of these are in cahoots with Russia. I've found some that were like, there were Space Force symbols and then there were the Russian equivalents of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes they are all working together, obviously, like we know they do down south in the poles. Space Range Squadron Boba Fett. These were the only ones that were like cartoonish. Almost looks like Marvin the Martian. Executioners, it said. This looks like ancient script to me. Space Range Squadron Morale. I feel like I've seen old either Native American or even Tartarian or different ancient kind of writings that look like that. So who knows what that is all about. This one again, with the crow or the hawk, the vulture, the red star, the bear. Again, with a red star in the background, like, jeez, are we already under communism? The Space Aggressor Squadron Russian Bear, like, what, what can we infer from all this is what I'm really trying to get at here is like, when you put all of these symbols together, just by going with general symbolism, you get something very interesting. And the owl on the shield, again, the ancient kind of Romanesque guy with the mohawk and the helmet and the everything, 660, the constellations there, the sphere, the cross, the power symbols, the swords, everywhere. Every one of these things just has something kind of, something that we're not privy to that's just being displayed. And I don't know, I really just want to dig deeper into this. Look at a little pentagon. It looks almost like a mother chip, a motherboard, going with the motherboard theory of this place. You got to assume that these people know more than what we're fed on our endless streams of YouTube cycles of nonsense and stuff, where, some of the stuff is good, but for the most part, we're all just digging around the same kind of stuff and digging it up and thinking and hypothesizing. But the people with the truth aren't talking. They're out there and they are doing way more interesting things than searching online for truth. They're actually experiencing it and discovering it, and I'm a little envious, but it is fun to kind of live a creative life and to imagine what they're doing, especially when you get things like this. It looks like the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon freaking guy with the Hermes on his helmet, the horns, who knows. This guy, what are they doing here? Space Delta 3 gaggle, that's just like the collection of all of them. And who makes the patches too? I wonder who the artists are that are designed to make these patches. This one looks a little interesting. I'm not sure what we're seeing there. It looks almost like the Cheshire Cat with angel wings, stars, X's, fire, lightning. Who knows? The shields, everything. The Space Delta. That's the arrow. It must be what they call the Space Delta, the arrow symbol. But look at these, the two beams again. The power generating looks almost like an old ethereal device, like a Tesla with a bird, the Thunderbird, the old ancients. This guy, looks like something you'd see from old Castlevania game. Deputy Commanding General for Operations, Information Mobility Division. All these guys linking together. I wonder if they're all compartmentalized too, like most of how everything in this system is, where they're just knowing what they know and they don't really connect it to the other ones, except for the people up top that are paid the big bucks to keep quiet. And that one's pretty nice too. Again, a frontal Trojan helmet. This guy will jam that. Space radar reminds me of Spaceballs. Jam the radar. It's raspberry. Only Lone Star would give me the raspberry. Space Security and Defense Program, Electromagnetic Warfare Division. Like, what is coming down the pipe, folks? What is coming next? With all of these things, like, doing something together somewhere on this space in this realm, what is going on? Please lend some insight if you all know, because again, I really have no clue. No laws is the way. What is that all about? Again, look at Yoda, Space Force. What the heck are they trying to tell us? What are they showing us? What is coming next? Nobody knows, but we are all going to be partaking in it, whatever it is. Hopefully it's peace, a renaissance, and the return of ancient technologies in an ancient way of life that just really focuses on the spiritual, the metaphysical, the beauty of everything and gets rid of this nihilistic, depression, atheistic nonsense. I want to find out what the real reality is and find ways to do it and talk to beings from other realms or beyond this realm who have a much clearer perspective on what is important in reality and what a human life should encompass, rather than what they've been force feeding us generation after generation. We're just mindless people, have just followed whatever they've been told without even questioning a thing. And the ones that questioned got so silenced and were so few and far between that nothing got done except evil. So hopefully there's some force out there, whether it's the Space Force or whatever, some force out there has got to be protecting us, and I hope it continues to do so, because again, there's no way to tell what comes next. But stay tuned, because we will find out. We're living this theater, and the next show is about to begin. So bless you all. Have a great day and enjoy.